I was flown out here by Erwin Glander, the chief reporter on the local newspaper. Journalists here hire planes like other reporters hire taxis.
Is there any danger that all those thousands and thousands of tourists could damage the landscape here?
Yes, I think there's a very real danger. It looks to be a very tough landscape, but it's not. It's extremely fragile. A good example is a place on the southern side of the rock, which is called Erosion Gully, and it's a creek bed which now is there, and it is there as a result of people simply walking over the ground. The impact of their feet has created a small depression in the surface, and the water during rain cascaded off the rock, followed this slight depression and washed it out. So now there's a creek bed maybe 2 meters wide and half a meter deep, which hasn't existed before, so the environment of the rock in this small place has been changed.
They gather for the moment of sunset.
Many climb it. All of them take photographs of it, I'm sure of that.
And they all stand in the same places?
More or less, yes.
They'll get shots just at the right moment.
Yes, they try to. Yeah, they try to. They take them when the coach driver says it's the right moment.
In 1844, we landed on the Liverpool shore. Me belly was empty, me hands were raw, from working on the railway, the railway. I'm weary of the railway, for Paddy works on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, big and breeches, and switches, and breeches. I was working on the railway. 1845, when Dan O'Connolly was alive. Dan O'Connolly was alive and working on the railway.
The original transcontinental line running north out of Port Augusta died in the desert like an exhausted explorer. By this time, anyway, the new transcontinental line had long since struck out from Port Augusta westwards. It wasn't going to India, China or Siam. It wasn't going to pick up copper or silver or cattle. The Indian Pacific runs west from Port Augusta purely for political reasons, to tie Australia together. It was the inducement to Western Australia, remote and isolated, to enter the Federation. The vision splendid, here if nowhere else.
Morning, sir. Oh, how are you?
Where are we?
Just past Ulay.
This is where we come down onto the Nullarbor Plain. Null Arbor, no tree. The great treeless plain. 500 miles across, with no trees, no hills, no valleys, no rivers, no lakes, no towns, no villages. Low saltbush, parched infertile limestone soil. A dry ocean in a flat calm. Nothing, except the geometrical line of the railway itself. For 300 miles across the Nullarbor, it runs dead straight, the longest straight railway line in the world, a pure mathematical projection. It's going to be a long day. In fact, it's going to be an hour and a half longer than yesterday. We put our watches back at Cook. Longer still for the driver. Every 30 seconds, he has to put the vigilance control back. If he lets the needle go over the 30-second mark into the red sector, bells ring and lights flash, and the emergency brakes go on.
How many times do you have to press that vigilance control in 7 hours?
Work it out yourself every 90 seconds.
That's, my God, that's...
Well, you probably press it, say, 60 times an hour, so...
60 times out, I'm 7. That's about
400
400 times.
Yeah, 400 times in a shift.
Did you ever fall asleep on this stretch?
Oh, no, we're not allowed to do that.
I see there are quite a lot of nests in the telegraph poles.
Yeah, the only sort of trees we've got around here for the crows to nest in.
I can't think what the birds did before they built the railway line.
They must have had trouble.
One passenger train a day, loaded with old age pensioners. And all built for our benefit. Funny to think that's what it's come down to. I suppose it's plain economics. It's cheaper to fly across Australia than to go first class by train, unless you're a pensioner. If you get the pensioner's concessionary rate, you can go all the way across first class for £100. A lot cheaper than flying economy. In fact, we're losing the railways £20 a head on the trip. Freight, this is what makes the money. We're really an irrelevance, symbolic passengers on a political diagram.
Hi, you're the guard.
That's right, I am, yeah.
I've been listening to you on the intercom. You're a pom, aren't you?
That's right, from Skipton in Yorkshire.
Ah. Driver says you own a gold mine.
That's right, I do. A small one, about 95 kilometres northeast of Calgary.